If the person in front of you is going the speed limit and you get upset at them, you might live in Texas. If the blinker doesn't get used and you use your horn instead, you might live in Texas. If you're going 85 and it's 60 and somebody's passing you, you might live in Texas. If 60 degrees is a little bit chilly to you, you might live in Texas. If you're wearing shorts and a parka at the same time, you might live in Texas. If rain is like the ninth world wonder, you might live in Texas. If a tornado warning or a tornado watch occur and you don't do anything about it and you'd rather run out and watch for them, you might live in Texas. If people around you don't know how to drive in bad weather, you might live in Texas. If your newsfeed is full of pictures of snow, you might live in Texas. If y'all is part of your everyday vocabulary, you might live in Texas. If you say words like might, right, light, night, biscuit, potato, crick, you might live in Texas. If it's not uncommon for you to see Mexicans on horses on the highway, you might live in Texas. If you measure distance by time instead of by actual mileage, you might live in Texas. If every school mascot has something to do with Texas, you might live in Texas. If anything shaped like the state of Texas tastes better than anything not shaped like Texas, you might live in Texas. If you know how to drive through an area and avoid the rednecks, you might live in Texas. Tea is your home wine, you might live in Texas. If your accent sounds like mine, you're probably from Texas. If you get hot in the shade like everybody else, you might live in Texas. If fishing, hunting, spitting, swimming, going to the creek, anything like that is fun to you, you might live in Texas. If being able to park in the shade is the highlight of your day, you might live in Texas. If you're used to only two seasons, winter and summer, you might live in Texas. If you can't even drive with your windows down in the summer because you're still sweating your ass off, you might live in Texas. You know it's springtime when it's tornado season, and you know you live in Texas. If you know that everything you buy is bigger, you might live in Texas. Having a dog is all you care about, you might live in Texas. Truck is better than driving a little car, you know you're from Texas. Truck dirty and not clean, then you know you're a Texas cowboy. Your grandpa makes their own wine in their shed, you might live in Texas. If homemade gravy and biscuits are your favorite meal, you might live in Texas. If you go to Cracker Barrel to get some home good cooking, you are not from Texas. Just wanted to thank everybody for watching my video. New video comes out every Friday. That's why it's called Fresh Friday, right? Shoot me your ideas of what you want to see. I'll post my link to my Twitter and my Facebook at the bottom, down there somewhere.